So after watching the final trailer of the Super Mario Galaxy movie, there's definitely a lot to share on the movie as a whole, with the secrets, the leaks, the rumors, the information, and so much more. This movie is going to be the biggest thing that we could possibly assume and could lead into brand new games, but more on that later. So with that being said, let's get straight into the video. Also, happy Mario Day! Starting everything off all the way back in November. Now this was a pretty long time, but the first trailer definitely showed a lot on the Super Mario Galaxy movie. We know that Bowser is going to be stuck in a kingdom, and the third movie might explain what exactly happened here. But let's just re-catch everyone up on the first trailer. So the first trailer all starts off with Bowser painting a little sketch art that seems really interesting. And then all of a sudden Mario and Luigi are over here asking him, hey, do you need help? He wants to attack them. And then all of a sudden we got all of these things going on. We see Rosalina at the observatory with Peach and Mario kind of looking up at the stars. And then we see another planet which seems to be like that. And all of a sudden Peach is fighting a whole bunch of people inside of what we can assume is the casino, that is a cube that is kind of like a galaxy, which is definitely really cool. And then all of a sudden we got Bowser Jr. coming over to try to attack people, which is definitely really great, right? You want to see Bowser Jr. go and attack Mario and Luigi. That's probably where that third trailer actually takes place. But overall, we see Rosalina and we see a bunch of things. Now that you're all caught up with the first trailer, we got the second trailer, essentially, that got revealed to us just that last month, which was definitely a really interesting trailer. First off, the trailer opens up with Mario and Luigi on a bike kind of going all over the place, which is definitely really interesting in many different ways. But then it opens up even further with a bunch of different villages, especially the village from Super Mario Odyssey, which is like the deco, and then you also have a cool little dungeon essentially, and the fire flowers, which Mario and Luigi are doing that. And all of a sudden we see that big old temple and Yoshi comes to play. So this also leads into the second trailer. Now, so overall, this is definitely really interesting, and it leads to the theories on what we could actually see. But first, you can see pretty much like a death run or a death trap. If you ever played a game like that, you can see Mario and Peach kind of trying to escape this big old mech boss at the end. Now, this could be probably in the dead middle of the movie itself, where these two are together and Bowser set up some death trap or captured them both. This could be what had happened, but anyways, then we have Luigi inside the frog costume that pretty much stomps on a fish to let go of Toad that is flying through the air, which is definitely really cool. And then boom, all of a sudden we see essentially that same party, essentially the party from the third trailer, which is all of the boys kind of together. Maybe they're celebrating something or just having a party. That's kind of where the castle gets taken up by a UFO, which makes sense. And then boom, the trailer essentially ends when they're running away from a T-Rex that the baby's disturbed. Now this trailer definitely starts off in a very strange way. Of course, you see all of those starry fragments, those starry ore fragments that you're able to collect through the games, but now they're here zooming across the space-time continuum. All of a sudden, you see a brighter light, which is probably the UFO. Mario and Peach are just standing there like, ooh, the sky looks beautiful. And then all of a sudden, it seems like they're having some sort of party. Now, this could be for my theories on maybe they're throwing a party because something went well, or maybe they're throwing a party because they took down Bowser. Because at the end of the last movie, they really didn't throw out a party or anything. We just saw a Yoshi egg, and that's pretty much it. So overall, the UFO kind of takes over the kingdom, and then we see all the Toads get rushed out. So this could be the end of the Toads, but I don't think it's the end of the Toads. I think the Toads will return for the final battle, because every single movie has some final battle within like the last 30 minutes of the movie. So that's probably what's going to be happening here. We have Bowser Jr., which is going to come up after Mario and Luigi are done talking to Bowser within that first scene, if you remember that. So this is probably about 5 minutes later. So this is honestly a really interesting thing of the movie. This is where all sort of the downfall, I would like to call it, kind of happens. Now let's just assume that Mario and Luigi don't win this battle. Bowser Jr. kind of collects Bowser, or maybe something else happens, or the entire thing just lets go. Because if you don't remember, Bowser actually ends up on the planet where the Mushroom Kingdom, or should we say Peach's Castle, falls and crumples up into this new galaxy, which is the Beehive Galaxy, which is definitely really interesting. So maybe they catch Bowser and we don't let him escape, and then Bowser Jr. comes back a little bit later. Now that definitely could be it, because you can see a little freeze frame here that they kind of fall out of the castle, but you don't really see Bowser Jr. in any way. So who knows, maybe this happens a little bit later, that the castle kind of crumples down and they already got Bowser. Bowser somehow comes back, but he is on the Bee planets, which really is interesting. Now, this must be the planet that something weird and something funny starts to happen, because as you can see here, there's a little scene that like, whew, the castle didn't fall on them. I guarantee you that the castle is going to fall, but they're going to move out of the way before that actually happens. Then all of a sudden we have Bowser's full return. So as you can see, he's carrying an axe. So this is probably back on Bowser's lava castle in the middle of absolutely nowhere. And he assembles, of course, the Koopalings and the Koopa Troopers and every single bad person ever. But overall, this is definitely really interesting. Then we have Bowser Jr. He's no longer fully possessed, but instead inside some mechanoid robot. So it seems like he's the one that is piloting the whole thing. But overall, I could be completely wrong about that. Then we have another frame that looks like we're back in Peach's Castle, so this could be at the start of the movie, or this could be a different castle, or not even Peach's Castle at all, because it seems like the Toads are panicking because something bad's going on. Then Peach is like, alright Toad, we're going somewhere. So this could be at the start, this could be at later on in the movie, because if you don't remember the start of the movie, we did get a frame, or we did get a part that there is a giant sort of meteor in the sky. Now at first this could have been a UFO, but this also could have been like stars. Now they end up in space, which that could be very well it. But overall, after that scene, we also have some sort of tournament in the background. This could be what that is. And then, of course, we go to the casino and we get the little crocodile from Mario Galaxy, or actually Mario 2, the original Mario Brothers 2, which is really, really interesting. He seems like the gambling type that runs the casino, so who knows. Then we also have this whole thing that is the robot, which honestly could be Bowser Jr. inside the robot. And then we have Rosalina that takes down the robot and pretty much save the day. I honestly think that they're going to meet up with Rosalina at some point, maybe halfway down the movie, because all of this stuff, all of this chaos starts to happen. And then, of course, the Queen of Space has to go and save them somehow. So this is probably how that happens. All of a sudden, we have Toad inside of some penguin costume, which is great in many different ways. So also, there's a brand new website for the Super Mario Galaxy movie, and it definitely shares a lot. Like, Rob the Robot is here. You can also see Gateway Galaxy, and I'm not gonna lie, this website is actually called gatewaygalaxy.ca, so consider to check that one out. But we see a lot about Gateway Galaxy, which is really cool. The most important thing is Rob the Robot, which is even cooler, and you can see a lot of the characters interacting. But what I want to take a look at right here is, as you can see here, you can see the Mushroom Kingdom with all of the mushrooms. You can also see kind of like the party that's going on in the Mushroom Kingdom. You can see the first ever promo art, which is definitely really, really cool in many different ways. And of course, you could see Peach's castle with no one around. Now, this could be like actual scenes from the movie, or just not scenes, just like this is actually happening. Then we also have Honey Hive Galaxy. Now, this is definitely a really cool galaxy. Of course, this is where the Mushroom Kingdom kind of comes crashing down, and this is where it all happens here. So overall, this is also where Bowser, I believe, kind of happens here too. So I think that this is definitely really, really cool, and there's definitely a lot to share here. But another thing that we have is another warp pipe that leads over to Fossil Falls. Now, this is, of course, Mario Odyssey, and this is a wallpaper, so you can look at that as well. This is where they become babies, so overall, that is definitely really interesting on how they do that. Of course, it could be the Kamet idea. Kamet finds them and turns them into babies as a curse or something, and it's Yoshi's time to shine, if you know what I mean. There's, of course, a skeleton here, and of course, the T-Rex from that previous scene. Then we also have the final image. These images are probably going to open up eventually, but we also have the observatory if you want that. And also you got yourself like the top of the observatory, which is really, really awesome. And you got yourself the little house, probably Rosalina's house on the observatory, which is cool. Overall, what are your thoughts on this? Do you think that Super Mario Galaxy movie is going to be awesome, or do you think it's gonna suck so much that you're not gonna watch it ever and ever and ever? Overall, thank you so much for watching. Hope that you enjoyed. Consider hit the like button, maybe subscribing if you're new. This is, of course, Gateway Galaxy. Anyways, thank you so much. See you in the next one.